Hi, I'm Al from applepepper.com. Yesterday I was at the Mother Earth News Fair, and not very far from Seven Springs, right here above Donegal in PA, is the Powdermill Nature Reserve, which is kind of managed by Carnegie. And they're doing a lot of work here in regards to conservation, monitoring wildlife. They do bird banding and things to keep an eye on what's going on with the ecology, with the ecosystem, including the wetlands, to make sure that things aren't going out of balance for some reason or another. And I really think it's cool the work that they're doing here and things that you can learn if you stop by and check out this facility. So let's just get a quick look at all the work that these scientists have put into this place. This is it, guys. Pretty neat place, neat building. Let's hop inside and see what kind of displays they have. I'm in here in the taxidermy exhibit, and look at some of the detail that has gone into some of these displays. It's really cool. This is something you have to come down and see for yourself if you're ever anywhere in this area at all. Try to do so. I'm not going to itemize every single display for you, but just give you a taste. It's really neat, and you know, a lot of what we're looking at here is native animals, native wildlife, and you can kind of get a good look at not just how they look in the wild, but even their skeletal structures. Really fascinating, great place to take kids. So yeah, you definitely want to check this out for sure. The enemy. Wait a second. A woodchuck is a groundhog. They are one and the same.
Your backyard.
in the restroom, and look at what this sign says. Wastewater is not wasted water. So what goes down the drain in these sinks actually goes into the Marsh Machine. So what's the Marsh Machine? Let's find out. Let's enter and see what it is. So the way that this system works, it's actually really cool. First of all, in the restroom, you do generate some waste water. And so that water, you can't just pump it into a stream and think that that's going to be good for the wildlife, for the environment. But you can purify it. And that's what they're doing here on site, is they have these tanks. They're anaerobic holding tanks that utilize bacteria that don't rely on oxygen. And they do a major part of the breaking down of the solid waste. And they're able to get that material partially purified, so they can next go on to the phase where we have this marsh, as they call it, that uses anaerobic or an oxygen-based system, relying on plants and things like that to continue to purify that water. And then at that point, all that we need to do is send it over to a UV disinfectant station where that ultraviolet light is able to finish off the process by sterilizing and purifying that water the rest of the way, so that now it can go back to the restrooms, and on top of that, it can be used to actually water all the plants in this room, and it can even go to the living stream where there are actual, fish and things living in the water, and they're able to survive perfectly fine in that purified water that otherwise would have done damage to wildlife if it had just gone straight into the stream unpurified. So one of the big things that they do here at the Powdermill Reserve is they tag birds and track them, they monitor them to see what's going on with the populations. And I remember being here before, and I read this information from decades ago when they were using the DDT pesticides, and the chemical companies, they were just pushing that stuff, it's safe, no problem. And here, this Rachel Carson was one of the scientists that was researching what was happening to the bird populations, because the populations were just plummeting. And she wrote a book about that. It talks about this here, Silent Spring. And so this book, all of a sudden just opened everybody's eyes to the problems that were going on and gave exposure to this serious issue that DDT was causing to the environment and to wildlife. And because of that, 10 years later, that led to the ban on DDT in '72. So it's because of scientists keeping track of populations that they actually have a leg to stand on whenever they're trying to show evidence, show documentation of what's happening, and create a correlation between misuse of chemicals and the impact it has on the environment. And so this display talks about the work that they do here and how they track and monitor the populations of these birds, so they can really get a sense for what's going on. It's really neat too, because you get information about migratory patterns, and it's something you just have to come down and check out to see all this great info that they're sharing with people. Well, it's been a beautiful day. We just got back from some hiking on both sides of the roads here. There are two really nice trails that go through the woods, and they've got a little map showing you so you can guide your way through, and it's really nice. It's a great place to be able to come be in nature and enjoy some wildlife, and actually have some things here at the facility to be able to learn more about conservation and things that we can do to better take care of this planet that we're living on. If you're able to check the place out, I recommend doing so if you're able to come by here. And I'm going to have a link below to the website for the Powdermill Reserve. so you can check that out and get more information. But either way, guys, I really appreciate you taking time to watch this video. I'm glad I was able to share this with you, and as always, happy gardening.